I'm Bertram, and I'm a pretty normal guy. I like my coffee dark. Whenever I eat spicy, I tell people that I don't feel the spice. I laugh when I shouldn't. I always tell my friends that their cooking is the best I've ever tasted. I never forget to wash my hands after going to the bathroom. Here's the thing though, I just finished school, I have no job, and I have no idea what to do. When I was a kid, my mom always told me that I was a kid of many talents. I do origami better than most people, I'm a professional spare time comedian, and I've never failed the test in my whole life. Some people would maybe go as far as calling me a perfectionist, which I quite frankly have to admit is partially true. I'm pretty close at being perfect. One thing that isn't perfect is my job situation. Some people would call me unemployed, but I prefer going by as self-employed with a 0-hour contract. To fix this, I decided to turn my nose more south, where I could smell opportunities, jobs, and money. Belgium, the country known for their chocolate, waffles, beer, manica piss, and the pedophile scandals within the Catholic Church. Immediately after arriving in Belgium, I felt a burst of political activity. It didn't take me long before I realized that Belgium needs someone to make Belgium great again, and that someone would be me. My political agenda, you might ask. The parliament can only make the decision based on Cards Against Humanity cards. And also, we need custom-made school uniforms. Gathering funds to my political career was harder than I had thought, which made me come up with an alternative method of gathering money. The Great Triangle. The plan consisted of people paying me to become a member of my party. They would then recruit new members who would pay a monthly fee to become a part of the party, and then the new recruiters could then recruit more people, and so it would continue. The higher you are in the triangle, the more influence you will have when the party has to decide on something. The Great Triangle worked surprisingly well, and luck struck once again when a terminal prince from Africa emailed me about his fortune. Long story short, I'm back to square one, and I have to refund the recruiters from the Great Triangle. Maybe politics wasn't my thing after all, and after careful consideration, I decided to retire from politics and head even more south. Italy, the country of pasta, ancient Rome, wine, Leonardo da Vinci, and Mussolini. I've always loved Italian drinks and food. In fact, some of my favorite chefs are from Italy. Massimo Bottura, Nico Romito, Luigi Mario, and soon to be, me. I decided to take a closer look at what makes these chefs special, and that's when I realized that they all have one thing in common: the beard. I've never been able to grow a mustache, and even with advice from a person with the fastest growing mustache I know, I wasn't gonna grow one. With plan A completely messed up, I had to move to plan B. In the book Diary of a CEO, Stephen Bartlett talks about every single business should have something odd to it. Something that will stick in people's mind and make them remember you. He uses a blue slide in his office, which has worked great for him, but I wasn't gonna do the same. Reason one being, I can't afford a 13,000 euro blue slide. And two, McDonald's already do that. Instead, I was gonna do something more epic. Something never seen before, something mind-boggling. The spare ribs tree. Planted next to every single table at my restaurants, guests could simply put the bones from their ribs into the tree. With my trademark out of the way, I now had to decide on the menu. True to Italian cuisine, I knew the most important part would have to be locally grown ingredients. Now, I don't speak Italian, but it doesn't take a genius to figure out if a city is named after a lemon, they gotta have fresh, locally grown lemons. So off I went to the Italian landscape, and after days of hiking, I finally got my hands on some lemon. My finance situation was still recovering from my former career as a politician, so I was forced to get creative with the remaining ingredients. There was one very tiny detail that I've overlooked. People have never liked the food that I cooked, which left my dreams and hope brutally obliterated. Now I've had enough of Italy and I wanted to go north. Denmark, the mecca of Lego. Danish pastry, the little mermaid who grew up to become a beautiful swan. Tivoli, the monarchy, and the Danes' ability to work together with other countries. As a native Dane, finding a job shouldn't be the hardest thing. My foreign friends always tell me that I'm good at speaking Danish, I've created Danish crossword puzzles that only my sister was able to solve, who also so happens to be dyslexic. The first step of finding a job, the job center, which so happened to be closed. I guess they ironically also needed employees. Instead, I used their Wi-Fi to look up jobs around me. I seemed very suitable for all the jobs that I could find. Model, fitness coach, but one in particular stood out. Elementary school teacher. So off my application went, and guess who got the job? Being a teacher is pretty easy. It's basically like having 30 au pairs in one room. For math, the kids was gonna help me recover from my financial fiasco back in Belgium. For Danish, the kids would be reading law to help me fight a case of severe misconduct of food safety from back of my time in Italy. For sports class, I was gonna give the children my watch and let them run as fast as they could. I really enjoyed my time as a teacher, but as with every good thing, it eventually came to an end. The school claimed that I've breached their protocol, which to be honest I didn't know anything about. The kids were supposed to hand in a summary of that, which was first due next week. On top of that, I also received a letter from the Danish authorities claiming that I've conducted child labor at the school, so naturally I fled south. Netherlands, where you'll find cheese, weed, windmills, Vincent van Gogh, and of course, Heineken. With 2 pretty severe lawsuits on my back, finding a job in the Netherlands was not an easy task. In the end, my only option seemed to be starting my own company, Bertram Music. Like the name suggests, I was gonna play, teach, perform, and write music. Being a musician is pretty hard. I went from being self-employed with a 0-hour contract a week to self-employed with a 55-hour contract a week with no salary. In other words, I hit rock bottom. I've become what I tried to avoid, someone who wanders the streets after the last pub has closed, carrying everything they own. I've become a musician. After some time, I actually came to realize that being a musician is quite fun. Even though I had to figure out how to make ends meet at the end of every single month and having long work days and nights, I really did enjoy it. You might think, how do you set money aside for pension, and what do you do if you have a sick day? And to that I will try to give you a short answer. One of the kids in Denmark has handed in their math assignment, which has helped me immensely. You see, the Netherlands is a conduit country, which basically just means that the Netherlands is the middleman that I use to move money around the world. Why do I need this middleman, you think? Conduit countries offers confidentiality, making it hard to trace where money comes from, and they're also designed to support financial activities with minimal regulatory interference. In other words, they don't ask me questions that I don't have the answer to. You remember the Great Triangle from back when I was in Belgium? Let's put it this way, it's back up and running, but I'm not at the top of the triangle anymore, meaning I don't really have full responsibility, but I have my recruiters. Lastly, I've opened a bank account in Panama. Now you put 2 and 2 together and you got an answer to your question. I make ends meet, I take care of my pension, and I invoke the 5th.